can skip this because this is a super...
なんだまだ何かあるのか
There were so many warriors who were injured as a result of the attack on the compounds. Saito-san had been present for long recently, and Kondo-san was occupied with his meeting with the Bakushin. Similarly, I had a feeling Hijikata-san was feeling the pressure of all of his duties lately. I wish that I could be helping him in some capacity, but I might get in their way.
おい、どうした？黙っててもわからねえぞ。
I wanna help. Is there anything I could help you guys with? It could be anything. Please, just let me help.
手伝いだと?
He followed his response with a sour expression that intimidated me. Well... Had he become upset by my question? Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything at all. No. If I back down now, nothing will change. Please, it could be anything small. The silence stretched out so long, I thought I was going to scream.
大使が行くよりは目立たねえな。筆と紙だ。筆と紙を持ってこいっつってんだ。お前の部屋にはそんなものもねえのか。
Right away. I scrambled across the room, grabbed a brush and paper, and handed them to Hijikata-san. He then took them silently, still scowling, and quickly began to draw. A map? What is that? He ignored me and continued drawing.
斎藤が三浦の警護で天満屋に詰めてるのは知ってるな。あいつに渡してほしいものがある。届けてきてくれ。
Do you think I can?
なあ、大使に行かせると目立っちまってしょうがねえからな。お前なら怪しまれることはまずねえだろう。任せて大丈夫だな。
Of course. Sir. I was thrilled to help, of course, but I was even more ecstatic to be given a task especially suited to me. However, that does put a lot of pressure on me.
こいつが地図だ。これを見ながら行きゃ迷子にはならねえだろう。
Thank you. The map was pretty straightforward, but I still barely knew my way around Kyoto. Without it, I likely would have gotten lost. Alright, I'm going. I turned to leave, and only a concerted effort kept me from skipping towards the door.
おい、手ぶらで行ってどうするんだよ。届け物だっつっただろうが。
Sorry, I got carried away.
たく、久々の外出だからって浮かれすぎだぜ。そんな調子で大丈夫なのか。
Of course, I'll do a great job.
これが斎藤に渡す書状だ。浮かれて落としたりするなよ。
I'll be very careful. Is there anything you want me to tell him?
特にね、必要なことは全部書状に書いてある。
Understood. Then I'm off. This time, I wasn't able to fully subdue the urge to skip. But even as I hurry, I have to be careful. Still, I wonder if it was really okay for him to trust me with all of this. We trust Hijikata-san. No, Hijikata-san trusted me to do this. I need to fulfill the task given to me. Keeping this in mind, I decided I was prepared for the mission, and I left to deliver Saito-san's letter. First, I slipped the letter into my kimono, and I double-checked to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Next, I carefully unfolded the mat Hijikata-san had drawn out for me. Ijikata-san placed enough faith in me to get the job done, so I had to be sure I did things correctly. Okay, so I go this way on this street. According to this map, it looks like I have a long way to go. I better hurry or it's going to be evening by the time I get there. Maybe I should run there. I wanted to ensure I take all safety precautions, of course, but I was overwhelmed with a sense of duty to the point that I couldn't help but feel running would ensure I'd complete the task on time. I think this is the place? I checked the house number etched into the lantern that was posted in front of the building. I was sure I'd arrived at the correct location. I'd been told earlier that Saito had taken a room under the name Yamaguchi. Excuse me? I have business with the person who is staying here. After speaking with the clerk, Saito-san came out shortly after. I mean, Yamaguchi, sorry to bother you.
Yukimura? あんたが来たのか?
One of his eyebrows shifted up fractionally. Fractionally? Fractionally? In response to my presence. Clearly he seemed surprised. I'm sorry you got someone as inexperienced as me.
いや、そんなことはない。少し意外に思っただけだ。そろそろ連絡がある頃合いだとは思っていたが、副長があんたを使いによこすとはな。
Right. Well, I asked if there was anything I could do to help, and he was kind enough to let me help like this today.
だが妙案だ。
It is?
俺の顔を知っている他の大使を使いによこせば、この場所を知られてしまう。かといって昨日今日入ったような新参の大使をよこすわけにもいかん。どこかの患者かもしれんからな。疑われることなく使いに出せて、どこの息もかかっていない人間。さすが副長だ。これ以上の人選はありえん。
Saito-san's explanation made me realize how much Ijikata-san had thought this plan through. After I made the request to help him, he had considered all of this and gave me the order. Ijikata-san truly has a brilliant mind.
では書状を。
Oh, of course. I pulled out the letter and handed it over. He tore it open and read it over quickly, then lit it on a nearby lantern and watched patiently until it was nothing more than ash. Saito-san?
Yamaguchi だ。
Right, Yamaguchi. Are you sure it was okay to burn it?
もう目は通した。こんなものをいつまでも残しておくと、誰かに読まれぬとも限らん。
Oh, of course.
役目ご苦労だったな。感謝する。
Oh, well, just doing my job. No need for thanks. I certainly hadn't done anything very impressive, because anyone could have done it, but it did feel nice to be thanked. I was useful to everyone. Now that the job was done, though, I wasn't quite sure what I should do next. Stay and talk! Saito-san had been ordered away from the Shinsengumi for the duration of his assignment. This was the first time I'd been able to see him in a while, and there was no way to know when he'd return. The fact that I didn't know when I might see him again made me reluctant to turn around and leave. Saito-san?
なんだ?
I'd like to stay and talk for a bit. if that's okay with you.
俺と話を。
うん。
あんたが喜ぶような話をしてやれるとは思えんが。
Oh, no need. Just a normal conversation is fine. Or even just being by my side is enough. Saito-san stared at me for a while, but eventually...
まあいいだろう。場所を変えるぞ。
Hmm? I opened my mouth to ask, but he was already walking away. Quickly, I jogged to catch up. Yamaguchi, please wait! I rushed to follow him.
ここならば問題あるまい。
We reached a small back street and he stopped. Looking back, I could still see Tenma, but there weren't many people about and the streetlights didn't reach us. Standing in such a narrow street forced us into somewhat closer quarters than normal. Why are we out here?
俺の役目はいつ誰に狙われるかわからぬ三浦の護衛だ。副長が人目につかぬよう大使ではなくあんたを使いによこしてくださったのに、老師たちに顔を知られている俺が目立つわけにはいかぬからな。
That's true. Sorry, I didn't think of that.
構わん。あんたが気づかなくとも俺が気づいたのだからな。適材適所というものだ。人にはそれぞれ己を生かす場というものがある。
Right. Saito-san is always so matter-of-fact. I heard that he was around the same age as Okita or Heisuke, but he's actually around the same age as the both of them. Thank you, history, for telling us that. See, Saito is actually very young, but he's very mature. Why is he so mature? It's so weird.
雪村。
What is it?
豚書の様子はどうだ。変わったことはないか。
Well, everyone's been busy lately, after all that happened. I guess things are pretty restless right now.
それも当然か。事件がなかったとしても大使の数が相当減ってしまっているのだからな。
Our conversation stopped again. I blew into my hands since they were so cold to the point of pain.
冷えるか。ならばそろそろ戻った方がいいのではないか。
I'm fine. I want a little more time.
だが
I don't get to go out like this so often. Oh, but if you want to go back to your room, then... That's also a mistake. This is still Chizuru talking, not Saito.
いや、俺の方は構わん。
Saito-san's curt words made me feel relieved. There's no way he wasn't cold under this harsh weather, but... I guess he's been considerate for me, who never gets to go out often. Saito-san eventually spoke up again.
平助の様子はどうだ。
I'd expected him to ask eventually. What man in his position wouldn't have been concerned for his friend? Well, as far as I can tell, he's still the same person he was before. I mean, he's a little different, just because he can't be up and about during the day. But I was about to say I don't know what would come of him if I caught myself. But what would come of him but I caught myself. I realized that it had a very eerie undertone to it, so I rushed to close my mouth shut.
どうした？
Nothing. Our conversation stopped yet again. Saito-san looked up at the sky and stared at the light emanating from the moon. Saito-san, can I ask you something?
なんだ
If you got injured, like Heisuke or Sanan-san, or if you had to help your friends, would you drink the water of life?
飲むその時俺になすべき役目があるのならな
He showed no hesitation. Like, he responded quick. Indeed, he hadn't even taken a second to answer. That worried me. But
意外か
no. I had a feeling that's how Saito-san would have answered. When Ito-san had left, he followed Hijikata-san's orders and acted as a spy. When he returned, all the things the other warriors had said didn't faze him, and he just diligently followed orders. It's almost as if nothing ever fazes him.
雪村これを見ろ
In one smooth movement, he drew his sword from its sheath. Moonlight glinted off the blade, bright but cold.
この剣が今までどれほどの血を吸ってきたかもう覚えてもいない
His voice was quiet and hard.
敵も味方も数えきれんほど切り殺してきたならば俺もいつかは戦いの中で死ぬだろうそれが因果というものだ落ち水を飲もうと飲むまいと羅刹となろうとなるまいと俺がなすことは同じこの刀で新選組の敵を切るそしていつの日か俺自身も切られ剣に倒れるただそれだけのことだ
There seemed to be no emotion attached to the thought of his own death. But this sword has also protected me. Saito silently listened. I know I don't have any right to say that killing people is bad. But you've used that sword against others to protect me. I share your karma. I'm alive because someone else is dead. Even so, I still want to live. I want my friends to live. I want you to live. Even if that means someone has to die. Does that make me a bad person?
いや、あんたはそれでいい。あんたがそう思うなら、そう願うのなら、己の誠を貫けばいい。
Saito eventually put his sword away.
話し込んでしまったな。そろそろ屯所へ帰れ。俺も三浦の警護に戻る。
Without warning, he turned, walked to an empty section of road, and stopped.
山崎、島田もそこにいるのだろう。
Hi, boys.
もう日も落ちている。物陰からの護衛では万に一つのことがないとも限らんからな。雪村を屯所まで無事に送り届けてくれ。
In response to Saito-san, Yamazaki-san and Shimada popped out.
わかりました。
Yamazaki-san? Shimada? Why are you two here?
この二人が来ているということは副長の命令以外にありえまい。
I'm gonna guess that's because we didn't come back automatically. Immediately.
おっしゃる通りです。ですが、いつから我々がいることに？
初めからだ。俺も患者働きが多いからな。
なるほど。
では行く。あんたたちも行け。
I called out to Saito-san one last time as he headed back towards the Tenma Inn. Saito-san! He stopped walking and I called out towards his back. Good luck! And please, don't die. It was hardly something he would have cared to hear, but I meant every word of it. It may be his wish to die during his mission, but I wanted him to know. Eventually, he quietly turned to look my way. For a moment, I thought I saw a smile cross his face. With Saito-san gone, we turned and made our way back towards the Shinsengumi.